Hi, this is the Business Guy. So what's the average American net worth by age? Let's see how your net worth stacks up against the average American by your age bracket. Under age 35, the average net worth is... Then we'll take a look at the 7 steps that you need to take in this particular order in order to maximize your net worth. Step 1, start. So why is this important? First, because it helps give you a financial goal to shoot for. And number 2, because we'll tell you exactly what to do and how to achieve it. Knowing how much money is at your disposal in your checking account and savings account is important for day-to-day budgeting and expenses, but these figures don't matter as much if you dug a hole by putting yourself into debt. And that's why knowing your net worth and how it compares to others in the U.S. who are roughly your age can be helpful to know where you stand. So what is net worth? Your net worth is the total value of all of your assets after subtracting your liabilities. Assets might include cash, properties, vehicles, antiques, fine jewelry, insurance policies, investments, or anything else that could be liquidated for profit. Liabilities include unpaid student loans, credit card bills, mortgage balances, or any other types of payment that you owe to somebody else, whether a person or a business. Salaried income is usually not considered an asset, even though it is money coming into your pocket. And that's because you may have a high income, but spend all that money on monthly payments. Conversely, you can have a relatively moderate take-home pay, but a significant amount of your income may go directly into retirement accounts. So the more important number is what's regularly in your various savings, retirement, and checking accounts, and what are your real estate and other holdings. Your net worth can be positive or negative, depending on whether the present value of your assets outweighs that of your liability. For example, if you owe $99,000 on your student loans and have $1,000 in unpaid credit card bills, your total liabilities would equal $100,000. But if you also have $30,000 in cash, then your net worth would be a negative $70,000. On the other hand, if you had $100,000 of equity in real estate, $51,000 in cash, and $1,000 in unpaid credit card bills, your net worth would be $150,000. So why is knowing your net worth useful? Your net worth isn't the end-all be-all of your financial picture. It is also important to manage your outgo. Now, if you've seen many of my other videos, you know that I hate debt. I see poor and middle-class broke people make excuses about debt, and many think debt is okay if they have a low interest rate and they invest the difference. But I've seen more people ruined by debt when those investments go down than I've seen people get rich with debt. Most rich people despise debt. Additionally, there are times when your net worth may steadily decrease, but wouldn't necessarily be considered a red flag, like you liquidate some assets and spend the resulting cash during retirement. Nonetheless, if you know your net worth and what factors are driving that number up or down, you can evaluate how to best increase your appreciating or stable assets, or otherwise eliminate the depreciating assets or accumulating liabilities. Okay, so here's the average net worth of an American family. Let's take a look at the average net worth by age according to the Federal Reserve. Okay, we'll explain the difference between the average and the median net worth in a moment, but let's go ahead and take a look at the averages and median by age. Under age 35, the average net worth is $76,000 and the median net worth is $13,900. 35 to 44, $436,000 average and $91,300 median. 45 to 54, $833,200 average, $168,600 median. 55 to 64, $1.175 million average and $212.5 thousand median. 65 to 74, $1.21 million average and $266,400 median. 75 or older, $997,600 average and $254,800 median. So why does it go down at age 75? You probably know the answer, because they're spending down their retirement savings and not adding to it because they're not working any longer. So as we're looking at these figures, you might wonder why the average and median net worth figures are so different. That's because when you take an average of something, you add everything together, and then you divide that figure by the number of individual units, in this case families. When calculating median, you simply look at the middle figure within the data set. That said, an average figure can be significantly higher or lower than the median figure if there are extreme outliers, meaning that a group of people with significantly more net worth than the rest of the group can bring the average higher. Keep in mind the amount of wealth that any one person can have is within certain constraints unlimited. Here's an example comparing average and median. For example, let's say you have a city with a population of 100 people. 99 people in that city have net worths of 0. In other words, their assets equal their liabilities. But one person in that city has a net worth of $100 billion. So the average net worth of that city, adding up all their net worths, which total $100 billion, and then divide by the number of people in that city, which is 100, the average net worth in that city is $1 billion per person, making it the richest city in America. But the median net worth, that means counting from each end and then meeting in the middle, is 0, making it the poorest city in America. But usually there's variability within a data set. When it comes to money, the median net worth usually makes the most sense to people. So that's why we're going to take a look at the median figures. So let's go ahead and look at the median net worths of people by education. No high school diploma, the median net worth is $20,500. High school diploma, $74,000. Some college, that jumps up to $88,800. So just a modest difference between high school diploma and some college. And then we talk about a college degree, the median net worth $302,200. Okay, let's look at the average net worth by location. People who live in urban areas, that means within a city, the median net worth is $126,000. People who live in rural areas out in the country, the median net worth is $90,400. So why the difference? Well, it may be several things, but one of the big things is if you're in a big city, there's more people to sell things to. Okay, this may be a little bit of a sensitive area, but let's look at the average net worth by race in America. White non-Hispanic, $188,200. Black, $24,100. Latino, $36,200. And multiracial and other identities, $74,500. Now, I'm bound to offend somebody out there talking about race, but I don't care. I like hitting controversial areas head on. Now, last time I looked in the mirror, I was white. Been white my whole life. So I may not understand why there are such differences, but I can say I lived in Thailand before, where I was often the only white dude around. I noticed I had to work extra hard and be extra helpful and extra polite to be accepted and respected. And to quote Jesse James, and this is not me, mind you, this is him, not me. He said, "You may not be responsible for being down, but you must be responsible for getting back up again." Like Wade Cook says, we can either make excuses or we can make money, but not both. Oh, and one more thing. Let's take a look at the median net worth by home ownership. The median net worth of those who own a home is $255,000. The median net worth of those who don't own a home is $6,300. So my opinion is as soon as you can get your debt paid off, become a homeowner, not a renter. Okay, let's take a look at ways to grow your net worth regardless of what your average net worth is. Your net worth goal should be based on your financial, personal, and professional goals. If you want to retire early and lounge on a beach for your remaining decades, you'll want to increase your net worth fast. But if you have a few goals that require substantial assets to achieve, then a financial advisor may suggest aiming for a relatively lower net worth. Now, the question of how much your net worth should be really depends on how you want to live. So regardless of the number you and your advisors decide to target for your net worth goal, here are some tips for increasing your net worth according to my favorite financial guru, Dave Ramsey, from what he calls the 7 baby steps. Step 1, start an emergency fund. The first step in Dave Ramsey's 7-step plan is to save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. One of the main reasons people struggle with money is because the necessary emergency expenses like medical bills, car bills, home repairs come out of nowhere and drag you deeper and deeper into debt. But if you are preemptively prepared for these surprise expenses, then they won't take you off guard again. So the very first thing you should do when getting your money in line is to get an emergency fund started. Save up an emergency fund in a separate bank account until you have at least $1,000 in that account. This will be the start of the emergency fund that will keep sudden, necessary expenses from plunging you into deep debt because you weren't prepared. Step number 2, focus on debts. The second step in the Dave Ramsey plan is to pay off all debt except for your house using the debt snowball. The snowball method that Dave Ramsey refers to means that you start by paying off the smallest debts first and work your way up to the biggest debts. Debts may include paying off your car, credit cards, and student loans. First, make a list of all of your debts, every single one except for your mortgage if you have a house. Then put your debts in order from the smallest debt amount to the largest, and then go through knocking out each debt by eliminating the smallest debts first and then working your way up to the largest debts. Now, some people say pay off your highest interest first, but if you look at what really works, paying off the smallest debt and rolling that payment into the next higher debt is more successful for most people. Step number 3, complete your emergency fund. The third step is to save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. Now that you've gotten all of your debts out of the way, it's time to finish your emergency fund. You can use the same money you were using to pay off all your debts each month and put it toward your emergency fund until it has enough to cover 3 to 6 months worth of expenses and bills, and then you'll really be prepared for anything. Now, here are some reasons to have an emergency fund. If you lose your job, you won't have to worry because you'll have enough to last you for 6 months. This will give you the time you need to find a new job. If your car breaks down, you'll be able to pay for the necessary repairs, the tow truck, or even a new car in some cases. Medical bills. Don't let your health and necessary medical bills keep you from staying afloat financially. Home repairs. If something happens to your home, you'll be able to fix the problem rather than living with it. Having an emergency fund is the key to keeping you out of debt in the future. After getting yourself out of debt, an emergency fund is what will keep you from getting back into debt in the future. Step 4, save for retirement. The fourth step in the Dave Ramsey plan is to invest 15% of your household income in retirement. After your debts are gone and your emergency fund is taken care of, it's time to start seeing to other important savings like retirement. Dave Ramsey recommends you take 15% of your gross monthly income and put it toward a retirement fund each month. To figure out how much you should be putting toward your retirement fund each month, you take your monthly income and multiply that number by 0.15. Step 5, saving for children's college. If you have kids younger than college age, the fifth step to Dave Ramsey's plan is to save for your children's college fund. Avoiding student loan debts can be one of the biggest factors in paying off debt as a young adult. If you can pay for your kids' college tuition, then you'll ensure their financial security in the future, and they'll be better able to stay out of debt. You saw the numbers. You saw which level of education makes the most money. And Dave Ramsey recommends using either a 529 college plan or an education savings account. Talk to your bank or credit union about setting one of these up for these specific purposes. Step 6, pay off your house early. The next to last step in this 7-step plan is to pay off your home early. Put all of the extra monthly income that you have into your mortgage so you can finish paying it off early. After this step, you will officially have no debts whatsoever. All of your earnings will go to you instead of getting drained away in large debts and payments. And step 7, build wealth. Finally, it is time to build wealth and give. Here you can really build your net worth. The earlier, the better. Congratulations. Once you've achieved step 7 in the Dave Ramsey plan, you can start focusing on building your wealth. And don't forget to keep and maintain those financial safety nets like a healthy emergency fund, retirement account, savings account, and college fund. And now you're officially in charge of your money rather than it being in charge of you. Financial freedom is possible for you, and everybody can do it with these 7 baby steps that can help you get there. Dave Ramsey also has other resources that can help you implement this plan. In fact, I bought the plan for every one of my employees, and I'm not getting any financial incentive out of saying this. I just believe in it that much. You can participate in the Dave Ramsey's program, books, and podcasts, and you can also take the actual course with Financial Peace University like I did. So that's the net worth range for each age group, and those are the steps to build your net worth the fastest. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. See you next time. This is The Business Guy.